Alright guys, that time of the week again, and we're back for some more Championship transfer rumours. With the 2023/24 season now officially over after the playoff final, this is where the cogs really start to turn in the transfer window. All will be discussed in today's video, but if we do miss any rumours out, make sure to get them in the comments down below. But without any further ado, let's just jump in. Really interesting news regarding Ovie Ejaria. Reportedly, the former Reading playmaker trained with Sheffield Wednesday towards the back end of last season, and Wednesday weighing up whether or not to get him on board again for next season. We'd also seen Ejaria being on trial with Plymouth Argyle, I believe, after his release from Reading, and I mean, he's had a troublesome few years, I think it's fair to say. Injuries haven't been kind to him, not really played that much football since probably around 2021, the last time he was playing regular first team football for Reading. The drop off in his career has been quite a shame to see from a distance, really. Still just 26 years old. When he was fully fit and he originally first joined Reading, he was absolutely firing on all cylinders, one of the silkiest players in the Championship, brilliant with the drop of a shoulder. And I mean, I remember at the time there was a bit of a debate between who was the better player, Eberechi or Ovie Ejaria. Since that point, both players have gone off in completely different directions in terms of their overall career, but Sheffield Wednesday weighing up whether or not to get Ejaria on board for next season. So one to keep your eye on. I'll be very interested to see what his level's like right now, because he's not played a lot of football over the last 2 years. Arsenal are reportedly willing to send Mika Bareth out on loan once again next season, and Sheffield Wednesday are said to be among the clubs who are interested in the 21-year-old forward. Now, he's done fairly well out on loan over these past couple of years as he's continued his development away from Arsenal. Spent the first half of last season on loan with Motherwell, and then the second half of last season on loan in the Austrian Bundesliga. Scored 15 goals across those 2 loan spells, and you could see why there'd be a bit of Championship interest in him. Both Liverpool and Chelsea want to sign Crescencio Somerville this summer, with Leeds not being promoted back to the Premier League. I would be very surprised if Somerville is still playing at Ellen Road next season. 29 goal contributions in the regular season for Somerville, 20 goals, 9 assists, probably the best player in the Championship last time around as well. I think that sales are inevitable for Leeds this summer on the back of not getting promoted to the Premier League. The ace in their sleeve they've got with Somerville is the fact that he is under contract until 2026, and so the club does have a decent amount of bargaining power when setting his valuation. It's thought that Leeds are looking for around anywhere from maybe 30 to 40 million for their star asset. Whether or not the likes of Liverpool or Chelsea will come in with that sort of figure, we'll have to wait and see over these next few weeks. I think arguably the departure that would hurt Leeds the most this summer is Archie Gray, if he was to leave the club this summer, and reports are now claiming that Bayern Munich are interested in the Leeds wonder kid. With Vincent Kompany heading there, it's thought that he's had his eye on Gray, and the German Giants could make a move for the teenager this summer. Now, it's no secret Gray has plenty of admirers from everywhere across Europe, really. Loads of big Premier League clubs have been sniffing around Gray after the breakthrough season he's just had in the Championship. Obviously a very versatile player who's played a lot of football at fullback as well as holding midfield. Once again, the ace up Leeds' sleeve in terms of Gray is that he is on a long-term contract until 2028, so the club in a very good position to dictate his value and rebuff any offers that they don't deem acceptable. The latest reports are claiming that Wayne Rooney wants to get Michael Cooper tied down to a new contract at Plymouth Argyle. This one making complete sense. He is set to go into the last year of his contract. His existing deal at Home Park is set to expire in 2025, and I think it's fair to say that Cooper is definitely among Plymouth's most valuable assets, and they won't want to have a player like that entering the final year of his contract and potentially leaving the club next year on a free transfer. A new contract definitely would make sense. If they aren't able to agree terms with Cooper, will be interesting to see if the club are willing to offload him to go ahead and probably sell while they can get the most money for him. But from the outside looking in, this one absolutely makes sense that Plymouth are looking to tie him down to a new contract. Manchester City youngster James McAtee has plenty of admirers heading into next season. Obviously, the youngster has spent the last couple of seasons on loan with Sheffield United, done well in that time, but you've now got the likes of Leeds United, Southampton, Girona and Leicester City, who I've all seen linked with the youngster in recent weeks. Didn't really have as much of a chance to thrive of last season with Sheffield United because of how tough that season was for everyone at Bramall Lane, but still chipped in with 6 goal contributions from midfield for the Blades last season. Still just 21 years old as well, clearly got a very bright future ahead of him. It does seem as if there's a very good chance that Burnley could actually flip a profit for James Trafford this summer. Obviously, the young goalkeeper still has bags of potential, but there's no getting away from how tough last season in the Premier League was for him, obviously. Tail end of last season, did eventually lose his starting spot to Muric, but that's not deterred the likes of Chelsea and Newcastle, who are both interested in the young Burnley goalkeeper. Now, last summer, Burnley signed him for a base fee of 15 million, which could rise to 19 with potential add-ons. Been rumoured that Newcastle are contemplating a £20 million bid for the young England international, which would see Burnley making a profit on him. Adam Ida's loan spell to Celtic in the second half of last season, I think, proved to be a loan move that worked out for all parties involved, really. He wasn't necessarily a regular starter at Norwich when everyone was fully fit, but has since done really well for himself in Scotland, scored 8 league goals for Celtic in the second half of last season, popped up with some really big moments for them, including scoring the winning goal in the Scottish Cup against Rangers as well. And on the back of a successful loan spell to Celtic Park, the club are looking to bring him in on a permanent basis this summer. Now, Norwich do hold quite a bit of power in this negotiation. Adam Ida is under contract at Carrow Road until the summer of 2028. It's been floated that Norwich are potentially looking for a fee of around about £6 million, which all in all, I think Norwich will be getting a decent deal there. If Celtic are then prepared to pay that much for the 23-year-old, I think this could be a deal which ends up working out for all parties. Luton Town continuing to be linked with a move for Coventry midfielder Ben Sheaf. Now, this rumour did pop up towards the back end of last season, and it has been rumoured for quite some time that Luton are in the market for a player of Sheaf's profile. And I mean, you could see why a side like Luton would be interested. Sheaf coming off the back of probably his best season of his career to date, really consistent for Coventry, an absolute tackling machine, 3.4 tackles per 90 on average, really tidy player on the ball as well, and definitely one of the best holding midfielders that we saw in the Championship last season. And with Luton having the objective of an immediate promotion back to the Premier League, you could see why they'd be targeting players of Sheaf's profile and quality. Now, the rumour has been put out there that Luton could be prepared to pay around 10 million for the Coventry midfielder, and that would really be pushing the boat out for Luton. You know, if Luton were prepared to cough up that sort of money, it would be a record transfer for the club. We'll have to wait and see on some more of the ins and outs of that rumour over the next few days, but Luton's certainly interested, that's to say the least. Speaking of Coventry, they have been getting a few deals done themselves. Forgot to mention this one in the last video, but Coventry have struck a deal for Rafael Rodriguez, who will be moving over from the Australian A-League. The winger coming off the back of a good season in Australia where he bagged 6 goals for himself, still just 20 years old, definitely a player with bags of potential that Cov will look to improve. Tottenham are continuing to be linked with a move for Middlesbrough youngster Hayden Hackney. Now, on the last video we spoke about Spurs and their interest in fellow Middlesbrough youngster Rav van den Berg. Hackney would definitely be the more expensive of the two players, and I'm sure Borough fans won't want to see him leaving this summer, but I think Premier League interest was bound to happen given the season he's just had. The good news for Middlesbrough is that he is under contract until 2027, and so if he was to leave, you'd imagine it would be quite a sizable price tag. But Spurs are looking to strengthen that position, and it does seem as if Hackney is a player on their radar right now. Luke Berry's available on a free transfer this summer, and quite a few clubs are interested in the former Luton star. Links to Charlton Athletic have come up in recent weeks, and with the link to Nathan Jones there, it's definitely an avenue that I could see Berry going down. Also, Oxford United, who I have seen mentioned in contention for the midfielder as well. It does seem as if he'll have a few options on the table this summer. Everton continuing to have strong links to Blackburn attacker Semi Smodics, but they're not alone in their interest, as Galatasaray have also been credited with interest for the Championship Golden Boot winner. Now, Smodics was always going to be a player in high demand this summer, coming off the back of the most outstanding season of his career to date. It was obvious that we were going to get plenty of links this summer, and a potential move to Galatasaray, I mean, that certainly makes things interesting and could potentially put the squeeze on Everton to lodge an official bid for Szmodics sooner rather than later. Obviously, the lure of the Premier League is massive, but moving to a side like Galatasaray as well can't be overlooked. The chance to win lots of silverware there and also play European football as well. Very interesting situation with Szmodics now, which is definitely worth keeping an eye on. One of my favourite transfer rumours from this summer so far is QPR being linked with a move for Ethan Mbappe, Kylian Mbappe's brother. Now, the 17-year-old is available this summer. Would he be getting this much hype had he not been Kylian Mbappe's brother? Probably not. It's hard to determine his level right now. He's only 17 years old, obviously. Only featured very sparingly for PSG. He only played 46 minutes of league football for the French champions last season. Along with QPR, you've also seen the likes of Borussia Dortmund and Ajax also being linked with the French youngster who plays as a midfielder rather than a forward like his brother. I can't lie, just for the PR alone, it would be fascinating to see him in the championship. But guys, there you have it. That will now wrap it up for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in. If we missed any other transfer rumours that you've seen going around the championship, make sure to get them in the comments down below. Other than that though guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure to stay subscribed for some regular championship content, and I'll see you all in the next one.